Vanakkam, Namaste, or Sitaram, and welcome to the second installation of that mini-series Balidhaan. And today this episode, we'll look into what is Balidhaan and what exactly is Balidhaan. Balidhaan, when Balidhaan is actually Sanskrit, and when translated means sacrifice. Many people today, right, associate the word Balidan with that aspect or that ritual of animal sacrifice or offering blood unto particular deities, which some could be Puranic, some are folklore in this aspect, and so forth. When meaning folklore, meaning those who are family deities or village deities and so forth that you will find like in Tamil Nadu and so forth in South India, and even in our local tradition in Trinidad and in parts of Guyana and in Suriname, where when people say they're doing their yearly or they D, some family traditions where they will offer a fowl cook or something of that nature to the D, right? So Balidan is sacrifice. When it translated, it means sacrifice. And you will see different doctrines like the Kalika Puran, where it mentions Mahabali or great sacrifice and so forth. And most of the times it's equated with, yes, it's equated with, and when you read the doctrines, it is, when you read the word, when you see Balidan, it is equated with offering sacrifice to, you know, the to a particular deity, be it female or male, right? You will find this aspect of worship mostly found within Shakta worship or Shakti, as we call it in local in Caribbean. You would see it in certain aspects of agoric worship or tantric worship when they are offering to like Smash and Kali Mata or Tara Devi or so forth from the Das Mahavidas, but also in not just alone in Hinduism. You will find animal sacrifice in other aspects of faith. You would see it in the Orisha faith. You would see it when you go into biblical aspects of Christianity back in the old days, in the Old Testament, and even some part of the New Testament. There were animal sacrifices being done in their aspect of what is called a Passover. Now, I believe that aspect has changed, but there are some remnants of it still being done in um, different faiths, right? But as I say again, we see it being done in Hinduism. Now, is Balidan taboo or is it unorthodox? No, it's not. It is not taboo, nor is it unorthodox. Because why? Animal sacrifices have been a part of our history. It goes back way back to Satyug, where Vedic rituals was very predominant, right? Were very predominant, and it was part of those Vedic rituals. Out of 21 yajnas, right? 21 yajnas, right? Out of 21 famous yajnas known, seven are where you have that aspect of offering animal sacrifice. And when I'm doing the history of Vedic rituals, I will go through the different yajnas and them that are there and mention which one that has the animal sacrifice and where also we see that aspect of fermented juice or that aspect of soma, right? So we will see that in nature also. But Balidan has always been there. We have many doctrines in we have within the Rig Veda, we have the Yatu Veda that speaks about it, and we will go into that in other videos. You have the different Puran, the Kalika Puran, the Brahma Vaibrata, and so forth, that speaks of this nature also. Right? There are different tantras also, and we will venture into those. Even in the Mahabharata, we will go to. Right? We'll go into Mahabharata where they speak about the Ashma Veda, right? And how ironic that particular book is called the Ashma Veda Hitika, the Ashma Veda Hidika Parva, which is the 14th book out of the 18 editions, 80 installments of the Mahabharata that talks where Yudhishthira has is cautioned and he's told, he's advised, not really cautioned, but he's advised to perform the Ashmaveda, which is the horse sacrifice. And we will go into those aspects. And I will share different some aspect of the rituals and so forth. Right? So it has that. So it has there been a part of our history, a part of our rituals. As time changed from Satyo coming, going through the different, as in Treta and Dwapar, we see it more predominant. We saw it took life, it took lift, and it was being done. Still, it was being done. Right? So it has been there. Were there amendments to it? Yes, there were some amendments based on those who decided to stay within that sattvic nature or sada, as we call it locally, who went that aspect of doing just sweets, fruits, and vegetables. But for those who maintained, right, those who maintained, they were doctrines who maintained the rituals, all those rituals. They are doctrines that were used to guide them how to perform the rituals, how the animal is supposed to be, if it is a young or how old, how healthy, if there were any issues with the animal, was it prohibited, was it allowed. So there are doctrines that shows you all these different things and the different types of animals, not just what we may commonly know as in chicken, a black chick, a fowl cock, a goat, or a hog or sow, right? There are other animals that are mentioned to perform in doing the ritual. And as I go along into this more into depth, I will mention and give details and examples of these other animals also, and share whatever little side notes of nuggets or little nuggets within the rituals that many of us would have seen other would have seen our head pujaris, our posaris, also our gurus who perform the balidhaan rituals would have done would be doing would have done certain things. And it's like, oh, so that's what they were doing there. Oh, so that sounds familiar because I saw my head pujari doing so and so. I saw him make this design and so forth. So while giving the ritual, while giving the scripture, as going into like the Kalika Puran, the Brahma Vaibrata, and so forth, I will give little nuggets or side notes of within the ritual of certain things that one may have seen or not understood what the pujari was doing and so forth, leading straight up to like the blade man, who would be the blade man if there was a ritual, what Vrati had to do and so forth. So we will look into all those different things to where Balidan is concerned. So to summarize, Balidan means sacrifice, right? And animal sacrifice in this nature, in that nature, has been always been a part of Hinduism. You will find it more predominant within Shaktism or Shakti worship. It has always been there, right? But it was always also a part of Vedic rituals back in the old days, and it has been there from. Some parts of those rituals changed to different aspects of like Vaishnava and so forth would change, and we will look into that. We will look at the different in Vedic rituals, who were the different gods. We might go into the other doctrines, who were certain deities that you may not believe that of these offerings, these Balidan offerings would have been given to. Right? So I hope this answer what is Balidan, and please look out for the other video that comes next where out of transparency I will explain Balidan versus sacrifice. Right? So because a lot of people when they see the word sacrifice they will think it's Balidan. Not necessarily so. So I will explain when you see the word sacrifice, it doesn't necessarily mean Balidan, and I will give you the examples what I'm talking about. So hope to see you in the other video. Right? Jai Sitaram.